Roll call, please.
William Cleninger,
Present.
Bill Gittens.
Here.
Jenny Monroe.
Here.
Dina Neer.
I think
It was gonna be
Danny's
and
out.
Sally Ricciardi.
Before we get started with the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to remind everyone that's in the room or online, this meeting is being recorded and your participation is your consent to be rebroadcast on the Culver YouTube channel. Also, if you have an electronic device such as a cell phone or whatever else that makes noise, if you'd be kind enough to put it in airplane mode or turn it off. So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next is the approval of the minutes of the November 26th, 2024 regular meeting. Everybody had a chance to view the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved by Ms. Monroe,
Second.
second by Mr. Ricciardi. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign.
I abstain since I wasn't here.
That's right, Bill. Mr. Githens is abstained. Next on the agenda is Mr. Rich Anderson. Am I pronounced that? Veregy?
Veregy.
Veregy. Very good.
We actually paid somebody to come up with that, so.
Thank you.
You did pretty good for the first time. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep.
Rick, before you get started, you want to tell us a little about yourself?
About myself, you don't have enough time for that. I got 64 years to tell you about, so no. I'm actually from Indianapolis, originally from Cincinnati. Moved to Indy about 10 years ago. Now what else do you want to know? I got remarried 4 years ago. Got 6 kids between the two of us. Got a lot going on, so
Okay.
hence that's why I'm gonna be working till I'm dead. I might be working while I'm dead, but that's all right. So no, thank you guys very much. And I was gonna say, I didn't think any of you guys were on at the library meeting, but I saw Marty walk in. So Marty was on the library board and was kind enough to get me hooked up with Kevin. So thanks for a little bit about, I'll start with, before I get into the handouts. Does anybody work for the utility company in here before I disparage them? Anyway, the utility, I'd like to talk about the utility situation in Indiana first, to give you a little bit of an indication of why one of the reasons why we're here. We're a regulated utility state. So what that means is you're kind of stuck with geographically where you sit and buy from them. So all the states around us, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, are all deregulated. I tell this story all the time. My daughter went to Ohio University and we were buying groceries one day and turned a corner to buy something, and there's a kid selling electric power at a kiosk, a young college kid. You don't see that in Indiana because we're still a regulated utility state. So the rates have been just going sky high. The clerk treasurer, you guys probably, you don't see the bills as much as she sees the bills, but the bills have been exponentially growing, and that's not going to change because of our coal situation with the utility situation in Indiana. So we're going to be regulated for a long time. But the reason I'm here today, there's guaranteed savings legislation. So that first handout that I gave you, the kind of colorful one, it talks about some of the things we look at with these guaranteed savings. So the guaranteed savings legislation has been around in Indiana for 30 some years, allows you guys to procure things via an RFP or an RFQ. You guys have done that for other things, but this is your competitive mechanism to go out and potentially buy one of these projects. So the first handout shows you kind of what we look at when we go into a community. We look at anything sucking up utilities. So lights, HVAC, water costs are still pretty good in Indiana, but we do a lot of solar. We're not one of the companies out there doing all the farm field stuff. Our solar is all associated with a facility or one individual built purpose facility. We don't do the farm field stuff. So that shows you when we come in and look at your electric and buildings, things are some of the things we look at. The next couple handouts are something that talks about the Inflation Reduction. You guys have probably heard about that. It was enacted a couple years ago by the national legislation. Allows you guys to go out and if you're doing solar, batteries, or geothermal, allows you to potentially get back 30% of your investment on the investment. So real quick example, you do $1 million solar project, you potentially could get back $300,000 in a one-time check back to the municipality. I'm going to talk about that, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with the new situation in Washington. I don't think they're going to come in and lop it off, but it's not going to be around for maybe as long as we thought it was going to be around. So that's why I'm telling people, if you're interested, get on board as quickly as you possibly can. The next couple of handouts talk about a couple of case histories. One is for the city of Shelbyville, one is for the city of North Vernon, where we've done projects. Now those are, a little bit larger than you guys are. In Shelbyville's example, we impacted 14 different sites, a couple fire stations, a dog kennel, a bunch of different places there. And then North Vernon, actually, the next one I gave you, they impacted 20 some sites with solar. They rebranded themselves as the Solar City in Indiana, put a little sun on a corner of their flag, but they really used, both of these communities have used this as a nice economic development tool for attracting businesses. So the way this thing works is we typically come in and do an assessment for you. It doesn't cost the town anything to do the assessment. We get billing information from the town. We also walk your facilities. Probably the biggest, we were talking when I met with Kevin, probably the biggest opportunity you guys are going to have is going to be your wastewater plant. That's typically going to be about 75%, a little bit above that, of your total utility spend for your town. If we can impact that and offset, 25, 30, up to maybe 50% of your bill, that's going to impact the town's financial situation significantly. That's probably the biggest opportunity because when I drive around, I see that you've upgraded your street lights. I don't know if you've done LEDs in this building or not, but
We've not been out the utility.
It's good. This guy.
But does it? Oh, yeah. Thank
yeah, but we would look at all your facilities just to see what we could potentially do. The assessment doesn't cost the town anything to do. I hate to use the word free, but a little bit of time on your standpoint as far as getting me some bills, but I would send a release letter to you guys, which you would sign, and it would allow me to go to the utility company and get the utility information. It takes me about 6 weeks to 2 months to get a report back to you. I owe you guys one. I got your report finally done. So, yeah, so we've done a couple other nice projects around you guys. Argus Schools, we did a project for a couple of years back. We're working on finishing up one over at Hebron Schools right now. So.
For the examples that you've shared and other examples that, like Argus Schools, et cetera, do you have some numbers that you could share with us on the break even on an investment? So at what point is that break even typically occurring, or does it depend on the size of the project? Or
Yeah, it kind of does. So you guys, you pay for these things 3 different ways: cash, a bond, or a third-party lease loan. A lot of municipalities will do a third-party lease loan, but typically these things pay for themselves in 10 to 15 years about. Shelbyville, I just gave them a report. We give them an annual report. They're $450,000 in the positive of the numbers that we gave them, of the savings numbers we gave them. The nice part about the savings and what the legislation does, House IC-36-1-12.5, it's Indiana. You can look it up under indiana.gov. But what that does is if I say I'm going to save you $1 and I only save you 90 cents, I have to write you a check. We've written 0 checks, and since we've been doing this, because we're pretty conservative in our numbers.
I was with Plymouth.
they use the guaranteed saving contract statute on just some other wastewater improvements before, and it seemed to work fine. They did do a solar project at the wastewater plant that was just paid with cash and some redevelopment funds, but it had a similar 10 to 15 year payback was the estimate for that.
I assume from the pictures, it looks like most of these are on top of the building and,
Yeah, typically it's ground space, roof space. We've done some park canopies too. Some places have, down at Evansville Airport, we did park canopies in front of their terminal. Nice part about that is you guys don't have paid parking, but they hadn't upped their parking revenue. They hadn't upped their parking costs for 10 years. So they added $2 a parking spot. They were going to generate about $750 to $1 million in additional parking revenue. So we can get creative with it, but yeah. All I need from you guys is a motion to do the assessment, and I can
I was about ready to ask. Would the council authorize that of the assessment process at least and begin that conversation?
yeah, I mean, I'd be interested in what we'd be looking at and if there's a benefit to us. And I know the NIPSCO is our only provider for electric, so we're kind of strapped at, there's no flexibility there. We're stuck with what we're stuck with. So I'd be interested to know from a data standpoint what this might lead to. So I would make the motion to proceed with an assessment.
Ms. Moreau moves to proceed with the assessment. Is there a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Shardy. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Council.
Thank
I'll be
you.
in touch with you.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Next on the agenda is the consideration of the Akron Street unsafe building order.
Yeah, so after I was not in attendance at the last unsafe building meeting, but I was able to watch the YouTube video and drafted a order that was modified from the one that I had prepared previously based off of Steve Gorski's initial recommendations to reflect what the board had approved at the meeting. And so this just documents that so that that Steve can report it, and should the homeowner not comply with things, then we'd be able to proceed with the demolition bids without having to go through a whole new process. Just looking for approval of that.
We get to read it.
Oh, sure.
The findings of fact.
Yeah,
There you go. Yeah, sorry, I didn't provide a copy.
So it was probably, I would say, 90% of it is the same as the order that had been presented in your materials before the last meeting, except for it's an added paragraph to describe some of what Mr. Cooper presented. And then it talks about that basically that he's given till December 31st to complete the roof repairs and I think repairing the windows and then says that they'll come back at the board will consider this the first January meeting to see if he's complied with that or if they're going to order the demolition. So then the idea would be after the January meeting, if he has complied, then we'd do another order that has the next set of dates on there. And just anecdotally, I'll note that my wife and I frequently walk down Obispo Street through the cemetery to the trail, and on Sunday evening, we saw Mr. Cooper was at the property doing some work.
I think that reflects well what we mentioned for the unsafe building committee meeting. So I'll make a motion that we approve of the Akron Street unsafe building order that Sean has drafted.
Ms. Moreau moves to approve the Akron Street Unsafe Building. Plan. There. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
The second of Mr. Shardy. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign.
Aye.
Are you a nay?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Githens is a nay.
We've just given them too many chances over the years.
Next on the agenda is what we call public concerns, utility, ordinance violation, and appeals. Anyone in the room for any of those? Anyone online?
It's on muting, sir. So I think we're good.
Next is public dialogue. Anyone wish to speak to public dialogue? Anyone online?
I do not see anybody unmuting.
Okay. Old business. Are we on old business?
I think we're good. I think we have some new business.
Kevin, you have anything on old business?
No, sir, I do not. I think we're gonna move to new business, and that's all we have for the night.
All right, we're gonna go to new business. First on the agenda is ordinance 2024-009, the 2025 salary ordinance. I think that everyone probably has a copy of that in front of you. Any council members have any questions or suggestions?
Now, after the work session, we had, feel like I'm up to speed.
Big pardon, Jenny?
I said after the work session we had, I feel like I'm up to speed on it. And I would make a motion to approve the salary ordinance as presented on first read.
Ms. Monroe moves to approve ordinance 2025-009. Ordinance establish wage and salary rates of the elected officials, non-elected officials and employees of the town of Culver. Now, second
Second.
by Mr. Shardy. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Bill, given we had the work session and we're a 4-0 vote, do we want to suspend the rules or does she want to wait till the last?
Karen made a request that we hold on to the last meeting.
Okay.
Because there are couple things she wanted to review, so she doesn't have to reopen the salary ordinance. Just have that confirmation. That's,
Okay, yep, that's fine.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, next on the item agenda is resolution 2024-002. A resolution of the town council to amend plan for distribution of the proceeds of the town's grant from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. I won't read through this.
I'll address
Well.
the council on a general summary of
All right.
what's happening. What we're doing is we're taking the ARPA funds that we've used on Academy Road as well as Well C. And what we're doing is we're transferring those funds to also offset the cost and pay for the improvements to Well B, which will be requested tonight during manager's notes. And we just need the resolution to approve that so she can move those funds over and to finance the Well B.
Yeah, I think the original, we used some of our ARPA funds on the project in the north end, but there were leftover funds. So she
Yeah.
probably has to,
Right.
on paper, make sure that we can still dedicate what's remaining of those. So I'll make the motion to pass the resolution.
Mr. Monroe moves to pass resolution 2024-002. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Shardy is seconds the motion. Any discussion?
Do we know what the amount of funds that are remaining?
Roughly,
I'm not down to dollars.
62, 60 some.
Yeah.
Just over 60.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I think we started with around 300 and used 200 plus
Yeah, I
on the
just think the
one.
public
Yeah.
needs to know.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
It's a good
Having a
point.
motion on the floor, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Resolution passed.
Thank you, Council.
Department reports, emergency services. Anyone in here for emergency services?
Michael is online. Can you hear me, Mike?
Yes, sir. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, happy holidays, and I have nothing.
Happy holidays to you.
Yeah.
Excellent report, Mike.
Thank you.
Good job.
Next is fire.
I do have one thing that we've been working on. We've been looking at a battery tool for the fire department. We presently have hydraulic ones, so that gives us a range of 100 foot from our truck where we can get it. Been in a lot of accidents and incidents, like the other night, we had one of someone's 200 yards into a field. We have no way for extrication for a person of that. So we started looking into companies that make these battery tools. We had 3 different companies come in to us and show us what their tools were and how they worked. And I believe we made a settle of, we'd like to buy the set of Hertz tools at a cost of $35,914. That's a promo deal that ends at the end of the year. Money's in the budget, in my budget already to be able to pay for that. If we wait, that jumps to $48,000. So they run deals at the end of the year. I don't know if they're trying to pick up budget money or how they're doing it. Cause we just bought some air bottles that were like $300 cheaper than they were 2 years ago, you know, and it's like, do you buy the stuff or not? But this is something that we've been looking into for quite a while. And these tools are the best ones that we came up with.
Would these then equip every one of the firefighters, or is it just the truck, or?
This
How's it
would be trucks. It would be
Okay.
a truck. We have the set that's in the squad now that would go at any time, but in our engine, we have a smaller set that's not as powerful. So this would automatically go into that vehicle. There's like 3 tools in this thing: jaws of life, cutters, spreaders, and a ram to actually take a car apart in a matter of minutes for extrication of rollovers. And people in the ditch, these tools actually are good for in 11 feet of water, which are other ones, if they get wet, you'd be lucky if they ever work again. So they've upgraded a lot, and these are battery. They are battery tools compared to the other ones where you're dragging hoses. If you've ever been on an accident scene and the hoses are out, it's quite chaotic sometimes because we have 2 tools that can operate, only one at a time. And with this situation right here, we can run all 3 of these tools at one time without having hoses, people to trip on and drag them on. And the longevity of this company is, this is actually the first jaws of life that we had on our fire department. Was the first one. It was a little pump thing like this, and you stick it in and the guy would be over there and go to pump the hydraulics up to make the tool work. So that's how old this company is. And they're still backing up all their tools that they've ever made clear back program. So they're not a new company. They've been around.
How's their, how long a battery life do they have? Not
These
per
batteries,
incident, but
you talking about longevity of
yeah,
the battery?
yeah.
I believe the warranty on the batteries is 3 years. So, you know, it depends on how batteries get used. If you have any battery tools of your own, very often they kind of don't have a life, you know, where we take these on and charge them and switch them and use them all the time. Hopefully they'd last that long, if not longer. And the price of batteries in 3 years.
So if you don't have any accidents, you just tear up your own cars?
No, all you gotta do is exercise. We just exercise the batteries.
Okay.
We used tools the other day. We got the car up in the parking lot. It took us probably about 45, 50 minutes to totally tear it up, and the batteries never came off full charge. So the battery longevity of itself lasts a long time. These are their own batteries. It's not like DeWalt or Milwaukee or something like this. Is their own sealed battery. That's how the tool can go underwater, because their batteries are sealed.
What do you plan to do with the old tools?
They will stay in the truck as a backup. Like I said, not all the time does it work like that. It'll still work as, because we do have the hydraulic pump in the squad truck, and we will still have it in service.
Is all this money coming out of your budget or are you splitting it
Yes.
with,
Yes,
Marlene?
no, this is budget money.
Okay, thank you.
Kind of nice, she finally had a year, we didn't have to do as much maintenance as last year and the year
Exactly,
before.
that, I was talking to Karen about it, and we've had a good.
Run.
Still got
Look over your shoulder.
a couple of weeks, and I hope everything's great. But we did leave, there's plenty of money in the budget for everything. that we
Good.
Went through and
All right.
Thank you.
I'll motion to approve the 35,914 for the expense of the purchase of this.
Mr. Monroe moves to approve purchase of the tools.
I'll second.
Mr. Shardy seconds. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
thank you.
Okay.
The only other thing I got is happy holidays. I should have said that first, right?
Thank you.
Should have your end reports at the next meeting for everybody.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah.
Wayne?
I just got a couple things. We're getting close to the end of the year here. One of our officers has been here almost a year and I wanted to move him up to the full rate. I already talked to Karen and Kevin and Karen's gonna calculate it for the date and everything here at the end of the year. So it'll be up to the full. Is the other option?
Rather than probationary officer.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Shardy,
Very jolly if you need it.
to adjust the salary of Patrolman Larry Jolly, second by Ms. Monroe. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those same sign. Thank you.
The other thing is being at the end of the year, not use all our holiday vacation. First, of course, we ever have them. And council's wishes, I'd like them. We pay it out here at the end of the year and that's the time. Stuff here.
I honestly think this should be an employee-wide policy for anyone who doesn't. I know with the police, we've had to have them on duty because they work 24/7 hour shifts, but we do have occasion where people can't fit it in, and I don't think they should be punished for it, but I don't know that we've had that happen in the street department recently, but
It makes December interesting
yes,
when we're all trying to
you
jam.
could technically get them all.
We've
get 'em all
always
in.
made it work. That would alleviate that.
Yeah,
I know it's a little harder for EMS as well, because they're 24/7.
yeah. I'd like to make the motion to approve doing this with the police department, but also, add that we should review this for the coming year to change policy so that we could do it department-wide with all the employees. I know Wayne already has probably figured out exactly who's who and what's what on the hours like he has in the past years. But if council's open to making a policy change, we could advertise that we're gonna change our policy handbook because we have to reflect it there, obviously. Notify the public that we're gonna make that change, but perhaps we could do that 1st of January. So next year, we're not in the same boat. Sorry, I amended the motion to be a really long commentary.
I didn't notice that.
To reflect it in a minute.
I'll second the motion and the commentary.
Can we restate that motion one more time for the
Time,
record, Jenny,
please.
if you don't mind?
I'm
doing
making a
that?
motion to approve of Wayne's request to pay out the unused vacation time for the police officers that simply cannot fit it in within the calendar year. Per
And
previous years.
as well as holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, added personal time.
personal time and holidays to be included in that amended motion.
Said here, effective.
Yeah. There you go. Caught on record.
Mr. Morrow move to do something. Mr. Shardy,
I seconded it.
seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign.
Duly noted about the review for the remaining, and I'll take it up. I'll speak to Chair.
Yeah, because it's a policy handbook change. We'll want
Right.
to advertise
Yep.
that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Wayne, anything else?
No, that's, I mean, we're still working on our hiring process that January 2nd, and see you. Happy Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Your new endeavors there, Bill.
Thank you.
Quite good.
Thank you. Park Department.
Crystal's turn.
This is my first town council meeting, so we did last month, we did a gobble bash. And I had 25 kids sign up and 18 show up. We had a really great time. I'd like to add things like that.
It like pops up. There we
Well, the
go.
whole, like CYC being closed. And, out of the 18, I think 15 of them were kids from CYC. So, mission accomplished doing that. And I'd like to be able to do those, more often. And we had the tree lighting ceremony on Friday. Santa rode in on a fire truck and was escorted by everybody. Good turnout for that. Anna Croy lit the Christmas tree. We got all the lights up in the park just in time by Friday morning. They came back and fixed the Culver sign because it didn't really say Culver when it lit up the other day. It was like CUL that. So they came back and fixed that and got that taken care of, and everything's going well. I got Aiden is the new maintenance kid, and he's doing great and very helpful. I've broken my thumb. Yeah, everything's going good.
I'm working on the pair slips on my end and coordinating a little bit, and things are going really good there too. We're getting good initial response, so everything's good.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Utilities, Bob?
All my stuff will be handled in cabinetry. I'll just here for moral support.
We'll move on to the town manager's report.
Of course. And speaking of Bob, we're going to lead off with Bob tonight. I have a request from the council, or to the council, for well B, the ARPA funds that were transferred in the earlier resolution, 34,609. This is going to upgrade the pump to have a capacity of 600 gallons per minute, which is a standalone capacity for the water plant. It adds to our redundancy, and it includes all the trimmings according to Perilous. So I asked a request for 34,609 from the council.
Make the motion to approve the expense with your list.
Mr. Monroe moves to approve the expenditure of $34,609 for well B. Second,
I'll second it.
Ms. Rishardi seconds. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign.
Thank the council for that. Second order of business, request that we create a utilities foreman. It is a lateral transfer at the moment, which we would take Damon Bush and move him to a utilities foreman as a rotational worker. We've discussed this previously. I've written a job description, placed it in front of the council for consideration. I apologize not getting it to you sooner, but the wordsmith got a little carried away here. The functions are primarily with the wastewater, but also provides us the capabilities of using Damon and much of the capacity we're currently using him. He's valuable on the street, also within the sewer, not in the sewer, but doing sewer work. Let's rephrase that. He's also one heck of an HVAC and electrical guy. Also works on sirens with bees. He's kind of your do-all knife kind of guy, and we'd like to reflect and be able to use him in that rotational capacity officially. The job description tries to capture that. And it would be right now, according with the salary ordinance as it passes in 2025. So I ask for official permission to move Damon to that capacity as what we're calling utilities foreman, for lack of better
He
description.
technically is, but it broadens his.
It broadens it. We could add the word rotational if you'd like, but that just sounds, we're
I like
keeping
it.
it there.
Call them street smarter. I know you've been wanting to do this a while, and I think the job description reflects well what the intent is, so I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Monroe moved to create the position of town utility recreational crew foreman. Mr. Githens seconds. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Thank you, council. With that move, discussing with Karen and Bob both, I would like permission from the council to advertise for a wastewater labor operator. It would work solely at the wastewater plant, bringing him in at a level 3, at least the advertisement. That gives us at the basic labor within the 2025 salary ordinance. That'd be a range between $17 to $24 an hour at 2080 hours a year. The responsibilities haven't changed for this position. We'd like to be able to place that advertisement before the end of the year and get it posted and see if we can attract to bring in somebody. And I'd ask the council's approval for that.
Did we lose someone?
We moved Damon over primarily.
Oh,
So
all right. This
and
was,
we've been actually in need of it anyway. But with Damon being moved over and only being a part-time flex guy, we're going to need this position.
I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Been moved by Mr. Githens,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Shardy. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Thank you, council. Just a point of order or a business. We've received seller's services contract for the snow removal for the town. We haven't needed it up to this point, but sure as heck, we will probably sign this and need it. I'm asking for approval. The contract remains the same as last year's per service price, and just simply asking the council's authorization to allow me to sign the contract.
What's the price?
We are looking at price per visit, 0 inches to up to just under 2 inches, 1.99 is at $956.32 per visit. 2 to 5 inches, almost 6 inches will be $1,404.16. If we get 6 inches, God help us, no I'm kidding, 9.9. So anything under 10 inches is looking at $1,753.21 in terms of per visit. And then plus 10, we're looking at $2,137.63. The services include the sidewalks that have traditionally been on Lakeshore Drive, the original root beer stand, the clean out. None of the services have changed other than what we've always paid them. So they've been consistent in their pricing.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, we bid this out last year and they were the only respondent. If I remember right,
You're right.
we hadn't bid it in a few years, so we put it out.
We did. We RP'd it. Yep. And so this is where we're at. It'll be the second year with the same.
So they're the only one that,
Last year, when I
Yes.
put it out, they were the only one to
Right.
respond. They had been doing it for a while, but we thought it was,
The intention here is to approve seller for this year, one more year, and then we'll RFP to see if we can attract
The amount
services
is
next
the
year.
same,
Yeah.
but basically an extension.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
something.
I'll make the motion to approve the seller's contract for 2025. Oh, and the continuation of this year in case we could have no event, obviously.
Mr. Monroe moves to approve the seller's contract for 2025. Chair seconds. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Appreciate the council. Last order of business for approvals is I'm asking for approval to put out 2 RFPs. The first one is for our spring pier contract. Tim Uhas's contract will be up. It will be at this 3rd year with the installation of the spring. I'm asking to put an RFP out for another 3-year period starting next fall of 2025. This would also include the installation of pier sockets B as well as A. And the fishing pier, I do believe would be included in that RFP. The second RFP that I'd like to put out is for the town attorney position. Put it out there, see what we have out and see if we can attract proposals and discuss if that's the council's pleasure. I put those two in front of you.
On the pier one, did you say that would start in fall? So
It would be fall of
the
twenty
current
twenty-five.
contract would still cover the
It
spring
continues into the
installation?
spring. Yes,
Okay.
it does.
Okay. I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second. It's been moved by Mr. Monroe to put out for RFP, the peer contract and also for town council contract, town attorney contract. Is there a second?
Bill seconded. I
No,
believe.
Bill, did you second that?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you, council. Under updates, I actually had a wonderful productive session going up to Marshall County Tourism Board towards supporting the Dennis Quaid Viewpoint Project. Waiting to hear back officially from them that the initial reports went well. There was a lot of interest, good questions, and good dialogue in general about the tourism board. So I felt that was a productive meeting. I want to thank William Corder-Peter for the donation of the new courtesy pier. We received the monies and we are in progress of getting that taken care of. That will be for the spring. It's a very generous offer and it's not his first time and we certainly appreciate it. He's put a lot of additional features that are going to enhance the safety, the security of that pier. So it's greatly
That's
appreciated.
great, because that one was getting a pretty rough shape.
It was, and he actually, not only is he replacing it, but also just from the wear and tear, they were able to ascertain what was needed to prevent that. So I think we're going to get more longevity with this new one with some of the added features. So it was a very thoughtful gift. The town park lights look fantastic. I took a walk through there. It's really nice to be able to go down there with your wife and dog and they're about your whole life. Let me tell you, anyway, it was a wonderful walk. The lights were nice and I want to appreciate it and wish everybody a happy holiday season as we move forward. And that's it for the town manager tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Karen, your report?
First of all, I want to thank you for allowing me to duck out for a couple of minutes to go watch the kindergarten, first and second grade holiday
Good.
program at Culver Community. There were a lot of kids up there. They did a great job, covered probably Brown theme to begin with, and then on to the favorites. So thank you for that. I just have a couple of claims over $2,500 for your approval. The first one is Ed Mechanical Service. That's for $5,259.71, and that comes out of is for park maintenance. The second one is Fenton Brown, $266,097.25. That is for the community crossing matching grant for paving. 75% of that is paid by INDOT. The remaining 25% came out of street, MVH, and local roads and streets. Anston Corporation, $11,050, and that is for the new accounting software and training. And then finally, Crossroads Bank, $54,049, and that is the first payment on the street sweeper for the lease purchase. So we're actually getting ahead of that with some funds that are left over from the year. So if I can have a motion to approve those invoices.
Is there a motion to approve claims over 2,500?
So moved.
Been moved by Mr. Githens, a second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Shardy. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
And I just wanted to call your attention, last meeting you did approve payment to North Shore Fabrication, and that was for the pier sockets that came CCD fund. And that check has been cut. And we're going to hold that until all the materials are delivered, which should be soon.
Sure.
But I didn't want to wait until the 30th to necessarily cut that check. This is an ongoing thing. The Dunes CMD submitted pay app number 3 in the amount of $121,504.40. It is currently with Scott Seifel at Midwestern Engineers being vetted. But with the holidays and everything, don't necessarily want to hold that process up either. So I'm going to ask for you to approve signing the disbursement. Go ahead and approve payout number 3 pending Midwestern's review.
I'll make that motion, Karen.
Mr. Monroe moves to approve for the third payout,
Pending our
subject to
engineer's
approval.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Shardy. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign.
I would also ask for your approval to sign the disbursement request and deposit request for the ready funds. So that's the money
That
ready will
reimburses.
the full.
A motion to approve Karen transferring funds as appropriately for the ready reimbursement for the project.
I'll second.
Ms. Monroe moves to approve Karen to
And the disbursement request.
the ready funds.
There's a
Mr.
lot.
Okay. Mr. Shardy seconds. All those, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those same sign.
Since it's the end of the year and this is a little bit late, but there will be some open board and commission seats, mainly the redevelopment commission, as all those are one-year appointments. Would you like to set a date by which applications should be submitted? And we want to do that after the first of the year so that you have about a week or so before that first meeting? Or do you want to do it by the end of the year? I'm just asking for your
I think
preference.
the day before the first meeting of the year be the deadline so that we can get them in and make the appointments so they can have their meeting.
So that will be actually, that would be the 8th. The first meeting of the year is the 9th.
Is that okay with you guys? The 8th? Or do you want it sooner?
I'm okay with whatever Karen says.
He's well trained.
Just honestly, the sooner that, for convenience sake, I think it should be up in.
Yeah, if we get it out to TGL in the next week, that gives about a month for people to
It
consider.
does, and we can put it online, so. Thank you.
Do that on the 8th then. And then the final thing I have is just a reminder, December's a little weird, so we have our meeting tonight instead of Thursday. Our next meeting will be Monday, December 30th at 6:30, and then the redevelopment commission meeting will be on Thursday, December 19th. So plan and BZA remain the same. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Attorney's report.
All I have is I've enjoyed working with you guys last year and I'll definitely be putting a RFP in for attorney services.
Okay, thank you. Council issues, Ms. Monroe.
I just wanted to thank all the volunteers who stepped up for the town this past year, whether it was on a board or helping out with an event. Want to thank the Visitor Center for doing an amazing job of handling a lot of our events, along with the event coordinator, Andrea. Hannah, Andrea, and Amber just really brought it for the town. Want to thank all of the department heads and their departments. I look forward to celebrating with all of you at our holiday party. Want to thank Karen and Kevin for all the long hours and the hard work, along with the department heads. You guys make things go rather smoothly at these meetings. Thank you, Sean, for stepping in and doing a whole new year with us. Bill, I love your sweatshirt. It reflects the humor you brought. I might not make it to the final meeting of the year. I might have to attend online. So I want to wish you the best of luck and thank you for stepping up and serving the community, both as president of council, as a member of council, and a volunteer at numerous committees here and beyond. Best wishes to you and Melvin and Fort Wayne. I think you should go run for office over there.
Thank you. I'm done. Very good.
You put in some long hours in this community, Bill, so I think there's a debt of gratitude owed to you, as well as Melva, who also put in a lot of volunteer hours for our town. And
We've
then,
enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it,
good.
but it's time to enjoy life.
Amen
Not
to
that this
that.
hasn't been fun.
Well, I appreciate the humor you had when I was both town manager and as a councilwoman,
That is
because
not going anywhere.
it's not easy to laugh our way through, but sometimes it's very refreshing to have a good laugh, and you provided me several of those personally speaking. And then wish everyone a happy Christmas and a happy holiday and a happy new year, and see you in 2025.
Sally?
Well, I would like to just wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because I doubt that I'll see too many of our regulars at the 30th. But you never know. And that's after Christmas, so Merry Christmas in advance.
I'd like to wish everyone in the room and also our dedicated employees a very Merry Christmas. And also I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Justin Croy, who will be our new council member that's going to replace Bill Githens. So you want to stand up, Justin?
Definitely excited. Appreciate it, Bill. Thank you very much. Excited to take a seat and had the opportunity to be sworn in a couple places, and I've saved that privilege for Karen if she would be so willing to do that. If our next meeting on the 30th works for you, I would love for that to take place there. So, but no, I'm looking forward to it. Excited. Obviously been here my whole life on Culver, so I know most of the people in the room, and I appreciate all the well wishes and congratulations I've got from everybody, and I'm looking forward to things and excited. So thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Bill?
I want to congratulate Justin too, and I think he's going to do a fine job. I also want to thank the public. I know over the years, we're getting more and more public input, and we're getting more and more people come to these meetings, and that's what's important. You know, we work for you, and if we don't know up here at this table what you all want, you know, we're just winging it. And sometimes we're winging it and we're not doing it right. Other times we're winging it and we're doing it well. So, you know, I want to thank everybody for the support that I've had, you know, at the township, at the county council, and here on town council. I've enjoyed, you know, doing this for the past 13 years, but Nova's done a good job on her volunteer work, like Jenny said, and it's just time for us to move on, and we're going to miss Culver, and we're not leaving forever. It's only 70 miles away, and we've got enough friends that I think will put us up once in a while. So, but thank you all for this. And this, I believe, I'll probably just be doing the 30th meeting online. So this will be my last physical meeting because I've got a company coming in over the holidays. So I want to thank everyone. And I appreciate everybody showing up.
Thank you, Bill, and good luck.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Been moved by Mr. Githens.
I'll
I
second.
think we should all second that for
Thank you.
There's a joint second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, we're adjourned.